I think the number one determining factor of success in any area, whether it be fitness, going on a fitness journey, starting a business, getting into a relationship, whatever it is, it's an identity shift. I have a lot of people coming through my program that don't make that identity shift, or they haven't made that identity shift yet, and they're the ones that fall off. They're the ones that struggle to hit their meals. I struggle to get to the gym. I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. I've seen people try to start businesses and same thing. Maybe they have a little bit of momentum in the beginning and then they lose it and things start to taper off. They start to get comfortable, whatever it is, that the grind, the hustle, the drive, the love for it, it's just not there like it was in the beginning. The identity shift has to happen. I've had clients that weren't doing so hot for the first couple of months of their program, and then something happens where a switch just flips in their head and they're like, oh my God, like one thing that you said just changed the way that I thought about myself and the way that I thought about what I was doing. And it was like I had this identity shift to where I am this fit person and I do hit my macros and I do go to the gym daily. I'm the type of person who trains every single day. I do hit my macros. And that one little shift, the meal plan didn't change, the workouts didn't change, the macronutrient numbers didn't change, but the progress 10x'd. It's a mental shift. It's an identity shift. You need to see yourself as the person who goes to the gym and trains every day. You need to see yourself as the person who tracks their macros. You need to see yourself in the future as that fit person whose kids are like, Dad, you're like a superhero. I want a piggyback ride. Let me feel your muscles. You need to visualize that and feel that and become that person even before you are that person in the mirror. You need to see that future version of yourself. You need to grasp it and you need to chase it. And that identity shift is so important. Think about it in a relationship. If you've got some guy, say he's a construction worker and he gets married or something like that. Now, it used to be me. When I was single, I was a single guy and that was my identity. And so I would get off the gym or get off of work and I would do whatever I wanted to do. I would go to the gym for 2-3 hours with my buddy. I could go to the bar. I could get on my Harley as soon as I got off work and just go mess around. I could do whatever I wanted to do. But as soon as I got married, yeah, all those things were still there, but my identity changed to a married man. And so I'm going to be that man. I'm going to be that husband. I'm going to go home to my wife. I'm going to go cook dinner with my wife. We're going to have our fun little Taco Tuesday thing where we go to the local taco shop in Corona and we'll go to the DVD store and we'll rent or buy a new DVD that we could watch on Tuesday. Instead of me going to the bar, instead of me getting on my Harley and going and riding to the bar or going to the gym for 2-3 hours with my boys, I wasn't doing that anymore. But it was a really easy transition because of the identity shift. And I think getting married or getting into a relationship is easier for a lot of guys to kind of see. Some people don't see it. Some guys I see, they'll have a kid, a 4 or 5-year-old kid, they'll have a newborn baby, and then they'll work 10-12 hours in construction, and then they'll still go to the bar and they won't help their wife. And that blows my mind. That was never me. But the shift happened. The identity shift happened. I'm a husband now. This is what I'm going to do. And it was really easy to do. But when it comes to business, when it comes to something like getting in shape, it's not the same. It's not the same feeling. It's not that cut and dry kind of, oh, here's my ring, I'm a husband now, identity shift. It's like, oh, this is just something I'll try to incorporate into my life of who I am. That's not who you are anymore. You need to kill that version of yourself. You need to kill that lesser than, that less than human being that you used to be. If you're overweight, if you're 250 pounds, if you're 280 pounds and you like to, get your double XL Coke from the gas station with your bag of chips, you need to murder that fool. You straight up need to kill that old version of yourself, that lesser version of yourself. You need to stop sleeping in. You need to lace your boots up and you need to go to work every single day. And when I say lace your boots up and go to work, I'm talking about tracking those macros, hitting the meal plan, getting into the gym, whether it's 100 degrees or -10. You need to do it. I don't care if you're a truck driver that works nights and on weekends and throw everything else, a diabetic, like throw everything you can at it, right? Every negative situation. My job doesn't allow me to. Well, I work at night, so it's going to be hard to go to the gym. I've got diabetes, so this is just the way that I am. No, Kill that guy. Shoot him in the head. You're the person that gets up early. You go to the gym. You're doing it for you, but you know that your wife and kids are going to benefit from it. You're that husband that comes home and the wife goes, "Damn, babe, like what's this here? What's that? I like that." You know, you're going to be the guy that's getting the looks from his wife. That's who you are. Is it happening right this second? Probably not, but you've got to prove yourself. This isn't something that you flip a switch and all of a sudden, oh, you're that guy. No, the switch needs to flip up here. The results are going to take time to accumulate and to show. But until you can switch it in your head, you're never going to see those results the same way. I'm telling you, those guys that I'm talking about, a couple guys in particular, before the switch in the head flipped, the progress it was lame, to be honest. And then as soon as they hit me up, they're like, dude, something happened in my head, bro. And like, I'm feeling it. The results are coming. All of a sudden I'm losing weight. I'm actually adding weight to my lifts every week. I'm getting stronger. Like when I go to work, I feel better about the product that I deliver. I feel like I'm a better leader to my guys. I don't know what happened. I'm like, you hit the switch, man. And that switch, when people can't turn it on, they're the other half of people, it's probably a bigger percentage than half. You see these people, no, I just couldn't make it to do my workouts. And I was just really tired after work, so I had to push it until the next day, but I'll probably miss that one too. I just can't figure out the macros. They're just really hard. Lame. Freaking lame. I've talked about it before. This is baseline. Baseline. 0. Bottom. Like, for you to get in good shape, that is you getting yourself from a negative ass lame to a respectable human being that's at 0. You want to be a man? You want to be the man? You need to take it a lot further. You need to hit on health, wealth, and relationships, okay? Wealth being a big one that people want to ignore. But let's face it, there's a large percentage of Americans that don't have $6,000 or $10,000 saved, okay? 73% of this country is overweight or obese. I think 95%, I was just listening to this statistic earlier today, something like 90 or 95% of this country doesn't regularly exercise. I think the marriage number is up to 70% end in divorce. Health, wealth, and relationships. Find me something that doesn't hit on health, wealth, and relationships. Average people, the majority of people, are freaking losers in every category. Is that what you want? No. So when it comes to the fitness thing, for you to have a lean physique with a little bit of muscle on it, let's just call it not fat, and somebody that works out every day, to me, in my mind, I'm recording a video. No, you may not have chips. To me, in my mind, that's getting you to 0. To have that baseline physique, a little bit of muscle, looking good, your wife looking at you going, oh yeah, like this is the stud that I married or the stud that I wanted to be married to. That's 0. And then you can start to grow from there. Then you build real muscle. You start to do a reverse diet. You know, you're to the point where you can go out to eat occasionally and all it's going to do is fuel you because you're getting those extra carbs, you're getting the extra fat, the extra micronutrients that you don't usually get. When you get to that point, when you're that lean that you can go out and eat Mexican food, still do it without going off the rails. And the next day you wake up and you're just lean and dry and strong and you hit a freaking PR on bench or something like that, that's getting to the elite level. When it comes to relationships, yeah, you need to be that stud for your wife. You need to have it in your head. You need to have that identity of the man that's never going to give up on his old lady. And you're going to make that marriage work no matter what because you made a vow to her and to the Lord that for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, for in sickness and in health, you were going to be there for her. So you need to be that man for her. And then you need to show your kids how to be that man. And when it comes to wealth, the third pillar of health, wealth, and relationships, you got to have some money in the bank. You got to have some money coming in. And you need to be an above average man, which really isn't going to take much in America. But yeah, you need to find something. You need to find some way to either have a scalable source of income that's not from working a 9-to-5 job. You need to build a business. Or if you're going to be the 9-to-5 guy, you need to be at the elite tier of whatever industry you're in or potentially switch industries so that there's less of a cap and you can be in the upper echelon of earners, but then you need to invest on the side. You need to get into real estate, you need to get into crypto, you need to get into day trading, you need to have some sort of side business, side hustle. That's the way that you're going to get ahead. Anybody that's complimented me, wow, you're doing so well right now. It's not because, I'm married and have kids or because I have a six pack. A lot of it is the monetary thing. That's one of the hardest things for guys to be able to grasp and to be able to change. And in my mind, to be an elite man in this day and age, you need to hit those three pillars: health, wealth, and relationships. And guys that join my program, my elite training program, we start with fitness and nutrition because that's the foundation of discipline and consistency, having a positive mindset, because you can only get a positive mindset through positive action. You can't think yourself into it. You need to do the action by going to the gym, by tracking the macros, giving yourself the confidence, and showing up for yourself every single day. That's how you're going to get it. That's your foundation. Guys that come into my program, that's where we start. The next is relationships. Your relationships are going to improve. When the relationship with yourself improves, all the other relationships around you either go away because they're negative and toxic, or they improve. You start to hang around better quality people as your friends. You start to treat your kids better. You start to treat your wife better. You start to be there to help her more with what she needs and bring her up. And then her mindset can start to grow because she sees how much you've grown. That's the second. And then the third one, I have so many guys on my program who have increased their income. It's not even funny. I did my weekly Zoom meeting with my clients last week, and I said, hey, by show of hands, like just out of curiosity, I know a bunch of you guys have started side hustles. Who has started a side hustle or increased their income since starting this program as a direct result of this program? Or maybe it was something that you had in mind beforehand and the program gave you the confidence. And half the room, their hands shot up. Yeah, I have guys starting multiple LLCs in multiple different industries just because they're so on fire for life and they're full of gratitude. They're not taking anything for granted. They're like, dude, I'm getting fit. My relationships are great, but my money game sucks. I only have a certain amount of time on this planet. Let me handle business and make this happen for myself and for my kids, and so my spouse can benefit. And so there's a lot of people starting side hustles. There's guys getting massive increases in their wage from their 9 to 5 while also starting side hustles. There's guys out there that are into real estate now that weren't before from connections that they made in my group. There's guys that are out there that are, like I said, starting multiple LLCs. Some of them are starting pre-workout businesses, logistics businesses. Some guys are becoming online coaches. And so there's a million different ways to make a buck. But until you start taking yourself seriously, you start working on you and building that confidence and building that foundation, the other ones are just going to fall apart. So if you guys want to learn how to become an elite man in this world and hit on health, wealth, and relationships, and you want to grow your three pillars and you want to be above average, you want to be above the rest, click the link in the bio of this video. You can fill out an application for my program. Not everybody's going to get approved. Not everybody's going to be welcomed into the group. There's a screening process that you're going to have to go through because I'm picky about who I work with. But if you come into the community, if you join my group and you join my program, I guarantee those three pillars of your life, you will be above average. If you do everything that I tell you to do, if you have the identity shift necessary to be able to become that man in your head before he's there in the mirror in front of you, you will see progress, you will see success, you will be above average. I hope to see you on the other side. See you on the next video.